Hi everyone, this is Panos here from LearnWalls. Welcome to today's webinar about customer education and how customer education is your largest untapped marketing channel. Let's wait a few seconds for everybody to get settled. I hope you can hear me all right. If you do, then please leave a message on chat. Also, let us know where are you logging in from. Always nice to see your messages and that we have a global audience with us today. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Switzerland, Colombia. Hi, Mariana. Hi, Michael. Pittsburgh.
Hey, shout out Toronto.
Pittsburgh. My wife's from Pittsburgh. I visit there every quarter.
Netherlands, Ireland, Sussex, UK, Wisconsin. Great. We truly are a global community again here today. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Panos. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of LearnWalls. And today I'm super happy to be able to host two great professionals with me. We have Peyman, who's the founder and CEO of Visme, this amazing tool. The presentation that you will see in front of you today, very exciting, very lively presentation, has been prepared in Visme. So it's great to be starting with that. And also we have with us Asad Ali, a senior brand manager from Sendinblue, who will be talking from his end about how you can implement customer education, automations, and email marketing with using Sendinblue. So I think I see more people joining, but it would be nice to stick to our schedule so that we can have also some time at the end for Q&A. Peyman, you can start with the intro.
Absolutely great. So thanks everybody for joining in. Excited to be in this webinar. This is, I believe, Panos. We have done a couple of these in the past, so it's always exciting to do that. And of course, with Sendinblue as well in this case. All right, well, thanks everybody for joining in. We're going to do the quick introduction and I'll be the first to present after that. And then, of course, we're going to continue on about this topic of course, customer education. And today's topic, your largest untapped marketing channel. I think education is a big part of Visme, and I know it's a big part of LearnWorlds. The name, of course, tells you so, and in Sendinblue as well. And I think from different angles, we're going to be covering our perspectives. I will be covering a little more from a design and from a communication standpoint, and LearnWorlds and Sendinblue will be going from their angle and approach as well. So let's continue on here. So my name is Peyman and I'm the founder of Visme. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a self-taught designer, and many years ago, for those of you that remember Adobe Flash, that used to be me. I used to create these award-winning interactive websites and so on. And that's what kind of led me eventually to Visme to take two challenges to solve. One was me as a designer using all these different tools and the suites of products that had different user experiences. Having to create different outputs. To create a presentation, I got to use different tool. To create a graphic, I got to use Flash or Adobe Illustrator, and all these wonderful tools that are very powerful but different user interface. Visme, for me and for our audience, has been the answer to be able to bring everything, to bridge the gap between a very simple design communication tool and a powerful, to bridge the gap into one gray area. That's where Visme sits, to allow you to create ordinary and extraordinary content without any design experience. And that's essentially what our platform has been. Going on to the next slide, Asad Ali, can you give your intro as well, please?
Hi, everyone. Lovely to meet you. I'm a senior brand manager at Sendinblue. Really, when it comes to what we do at Sendinblue is, we're here to empower customers, empower users. Really, our goal here is we want you to be able to compete with the big brands in an easy way. We're in a world where no code is big, and that's what we're here to do, to ensure that life is simpler for everyone. And, given how the last 2 years have been, especially because of the pandemic, it's so important to be digital, and there's so much value in it. For me, I live and breathe brand and marketing. My role here is to build the brand narrative in North America. We're a French-based company, headquartered in Paris, and really, expanding more in North America and really well all across the world now, actually. Yeah, and we can go to the next slide.
All right, perfect. Thank you. And Panos, last but not least.
Well, I'm Panos. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of LearnWalls. I have a PhD in educational technology, and our mission here at LearnWalls with my two co-founders is how to get the state of the art of e-learning and bring it at the hands of everyday trainers, marketers, course creators, and content creators. We've built this all-in-one platform that allows you to do that does all the heavy lifting, so that you can create amazing e-learning courses at a fraction of the time, at a fraction of the cost, if you were to create everything yourself.
Wonderful, Panos. All right, so continuing on, I will be the first to present, and I have about, off of my head, about 14, 15 slides, and I'm going to take you through. So let's continue on ahead. I think each of us today will be presenting for anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes, and then of course, we're going to have a nice Q&A session. So hang in there, and if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, or I guess in the Q&A section, and we will answer them as the webinar continues on. All right, so let's talk about something here. At Visme, and why I'm a part of this webinar is because we live and breathe visual communication, and that is essentially what we do. And of course, through that, we also like to educate people using our platform. For example, today, this presentation is completely, and all these assets you see here, these hands and so on, are all assets inside Visme. You can create these impactful content. But we use our platform to also educate. We use it to create these impactful presentations for our webinars. We use it to create digital formats, digital content such as graphics and animated GIFs and short videos that we put into our blog posts and social media and so on. And so we use this model that we're not just a tool, we're the whole workshop. And because in our platform, you don't just to create a graphic, you can just go create a presentation, not just a document. You can create all of those in one place, and you're able to take them further and create something that is unique to your brand, because branded content is very important on a platform. For example, this presentation, these colors are part of the Visme color perspective. So you can actually set your brand guidelines, fonts and everything, and follow those through. All right, so let's continue on. Our platform, very briefly, is basically used by at this point, over 13, it's almost 13.5 million users to date. We started back in 2013. This was almost a side project, and by 2016 or so, we got more serious. And of course, this is what I do day in and day out. And one of the big things about our platform is we provide superior support, a lot of educational material, not just a support section, but live chat during the day. And of course, our amazing support team, a lot of educational content and great templates. And one of the things about us is that we are very business focused. So on our platform, if you're a non-design professional, this would be the platform for you. You can create brand experiences, whether you have absolutely no design experience or whether you are a complete professional. Our platform is used by anywhere from leading sports teams and champions to Fortune 500 companies, all the way down to small and medium-sized businesses. Now, let's talk about the importance of visual communication. All right, I mean, at this point, I think, unless we've been living under a rock, visual content, visual communication, this is not something that's new. The importance or the principles of using visuals to communicate is literally embedded in our DNA as humans. It started all the way back in the caveman days where, we were using charcoal to draw drawings and so on, and stick figures. So that actually started there. But today, it has even more precedence, and there's a few reasons for that. So let's take case in point, social media. This is actually a video that I had taken from my own social media recording and dropped it in here. This is my LinkedIn profile. And by just scrolling down, what you see is this is actually our channel. And this is back in May. I've taken that last year. I just dropped that and still using it. But if you look, almost every post has some sort of a visual cue to it. So let's say if you are in the past 2-3 years ago, if you just created simple text post, that was okay. And at some point, images got introduced. So pretty much more and more social posts are supported by visuals and the text. And now more and more, there is the animated content such as GIFs, and it's great for have repeatable information to use. But at the end of the day, people, and if you see, this is kind of the pace, the scrolling of this video. this post reel that you see is the pace at where most of us navigate. That's actually me navigating through my own post. About a second, 1.7 seconds on average is what we spend navigating through. So what post or what graphic or what text, what message is going to catch your attention? You have a battle of about 1.7 seconds to get the attention of your audience. And so how do you do that? Well, one of them is, of course, storytelling is extremely important. That will never go away. It all starts with that. But to tell a better story, to connect and engage with your audience, that's where visuals have an important aspect, which is why platforms such as ours, many others are doing well, is because it's such an important part of storytelling these days. Now, when it comes to educating your customers, you want to educate them at every stage of the buyer journey. At the end of the day, let's say, we're a SaaS platform. So what happens, as an example, a user may type in presentation software. We're going to be on page 1, and you're going to click on it, and you're going to come to our presentation software page. And then eventually you may sign up for a free account. So you're a pre-conversion state, essentially at the top of the funnel. At some point, we're going to work you through the middle of the funnel where you create your presentation or document, graphic, whatever it is you're creating with Visme. And then you may get a little bit sticky. At some point, we are at that stage focusing on general brand awareness. By the time you come to the tool, you land on our landing page, you create an account, you're working down to the middle towards the bottom of the funnel. At some point you convert, if you do. Convert meaning you go from a free user to a paid, because we are a freemium platform. And at that time, now you've converted, but the work doesn't stop there, because if we don't take care of you, then eventually you will probably churn. So there's post-conversion work, and that is where we want to continue educating our customers how to use the product or service. In our case, how to create more impactful presentation. Maybe you came to create a presentation. Did you know you can create infographics in Visme? Did you know you can create short videos and GIFs? Did you know that you can actually access these very unique assets and characters and animated items? Did you know you can actually integrate to MailChimp? So you may come for one use case, but our job is to show you the all-in-one platform. And in all transparency, we're not doing a fantastic job at it. We're continually working on this because we have a challenge of people coming from all different angles for different use cases, because the challenge at Visme is that our users and audience are from all walks of life. They might be a non-design professional working in PR. They might be a marketing professional, might be a project manager, but they all have one thing in common: to create better, more impactful content. So using that, we utilize that and try to find where they came from, what their use cases, and show them the things they could accomplish using Visme to be more efficient, more productive, or have a better outcome. And of course, later on, there's this ongoing aspect. You want to continue to optimize the user customer experience, reinforce brand loyalty, gain referrals. So in our case, is for you to continue being a champion of the content you create. Hey, you came and maybe the purpose was to create a slide deck for my startup, as an example. Well, continue on in the future. We want to be able to educate you. We have an entire channel at Visme's YouTube channel, over 155, I believe, 1,000 subscribers now. It's actually our more successful social media channel. And it is one of the more popular brand YouTube channels online, actually, on YouTube goes. And we've done that with the following motto. It was all education-based for years. It was not about selling. It wasn't even about Visme. It was make information beautiful. That's the topic of our channel. So you can actually go on YouTube. You can go type in Visme and find our channel. You can see the videos that we have. And they're all about educating people how to create more impactful content, regardless of what tool they use. Maybe it's Visme, or maybe it's something else. And so we have this ongoing part, but then we don't stop there. On a monthly basis, we have blog, a very popular blog that drives over 1 million visitors a month to it, that we educate people about various use cases and various types of outcomes that they're looking to do when it comes to visual communication, to design, to data visualization, and so on. All right, continue on. So let's talk about brand presence. Divided into 3 different parts: color, topography, and consistency. So let's say you are a non-design professional and you are looking to create more impactful or professional content that is geared towards your brand. In this case, let's talk about color. And again, I'm breaking this into very simple principles. So if you have no interest in design, in the next 30 seconds, 40 seconds, you follow these 2 or 3 tips. I promise you, it will assist you a lot in the content that you create in the future. So, understanding color theory, that sounds very complicated, but it's actually put into very layman terms. You want to understand color psychology. We have a number of topics in our blog, in the Visme blog, that talks about color psychology. Certain colors have connotations against others. So, if you think about it, in case a lot of tech companies traditionally use navy blue, a lot of banks use these more dark green color perspectives. It usually has to do with money, confidence, and so on. So different colors have different annotations. Topography, very simple tip. Look, you may have a brand, and very likely there's a certain logo. Your logo has a certain font, and your brand has certain topography. Stick with no more than 3 fonts. Whatever content you create in the future, whether it's a slide deck, a document, a design, graphic, basically make sure that you never use more than 3 fonts throughout. For your header, one font, and for your body text or subheader, another font, and just be consistent. Never change them around. That's essentially, in so many ways, topography, using up to 3 fonts. And fonts can clash with fonts at some point. If you look on the right side over here, this is on hover. So if I'm going to hover here, if you look at that, it says font pairs. In Visme, we have these blocks of content, almost like pieces of Lego, so you can quickly create content, and we give you font pairs. So you literally drag and drop, and our designers have matched fonts for you, so that all you do is change the text, and you already have a font pair topography following you through. So again, if you look on the right side, you only see 2, maybe maximum 3 fonts used, and that's actually based on its philosophy. Very simple. Consistency, of course, last but not least. You want your profile graphics. Let's say your social media. If I'm on your YouTube, if I'm on your Twitter or LinkedIn profile, they should have the same color, similar graphics, and similar style all across. So if you look here at the bottom, this is 3 separate social graphics. So in this case, you may be creating graphics for YouTube and maybe Twitter, or maybe Instagram, different proportions. The last one on the right is the tall one. That's a 9:16 proportion. That's an Instagram, or of course, TikTok these days. And then a 16:9 is what you often see on Facebook posts, or even on YouTube covers. And the 1:1, I'm going by memory, don't hold me up to it. I believe it's common on Facebook and Twitter. So if all 3 of them are the same message, but they're just 3 different sizes, same topography, and that's all consistency. That's basically an example of that. All right, let's continue on. So the human brain processes visual information faster than text. Obviously, we would know that by now, right? And that is the truth, but that's something that a lot of us oversee. So, an image, a memorable image, is a pretty powerful instructional tool that it drives engagement. It reduces cognitive load, and also it allows you to fulfill the learning objectives more efficiently. By the way, you see these graphics here? These are all assets in Visme. I got to show this off a little bit because I'm so amazed at the stuff that our team has created. This entire slide created in Visme, this is a 3D animation rendering. And one of it, and the reason I'm talking about it, is that we're talking about processing information faster than text. So you see there is this abstract animation to annotate or to give you the impression of time and passing by. So that's essentially a subjective way of presenting and supporting this message. That's kind of an example of where you can use visuals to be able to get that point across. So let's go through a couple more examples. Types of visual content that allows you to increase learning engagement and retention. So what are some of those types? Let's talk about them. Of course, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and these are some of the examples here. What comes across your mind when you see this image? For me, it's risk. That's the first thing that comes. For you, it might be empowerment. It might be something else, but that image gets embedded into your brain. So images and photos, pictures, they allow you to contextualize your content. They also make it easier to understand. So if I had this image here and I put a very bold, strong, short phrase here, risk is not everything, for example, and this image will support that message. Or here, I'm not sure if that's Neil Armstrong or not, so the very famous statement that he used about the giant leap for mankind, that's one step for man, one giant leap for mankind, that has been embedded into our brain. So anytime you see that image, you almost think of that statement. So anyway, combining using a visual such as an image with text can really support and strengthen that. Another one is, of course, maps, illustrations, and charts. These are actually templates in Visme that people use all the time to create and adjust. So for example, this says anatomy of a writer. It might be anatomy of a country, and this could be replaced with a country's flag, and these can be changed and adjusted. That's essentially it. But you using these, if you look, this is all three pieces. They have one thing in common. That is where you're taking complex patterns or information and you're simplifying them. Okay, so you're representing those. Remember I was talking about marketing earlier, top of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. Well, that's a great example. This is a funnel. And like, hey, we get 890,000 visitors to come, unique visits here. And then in the middle of the funnel through newsletter subscriptions. And then here where support conversations and of course purchases ends up being that. You work from the top to the bottom of funnel. It's a very simple way to represent that information. Well, in this case, coronavirus cases. This is an old map, but this is not recent data, of course. And then very simply, and by the way, this is an actual map. You see I hover over, it's an interactive map in Visme, and I can see the data and the color. The darker the color is, the higher the numbers are, the cases are, you see, so that's a visual representation. So using maps, using illustrations, and using charts allows you to take a lot of data, more information, and make it easy and simple to understand. Here's another great example. Using illustrative directions and comics. So how do you prefer to learn? I want to ask the audience here for just a moment. Take please 30 seconds and take 15 seconds and look on the left. Just try to read as much information as you can. And then I want you to then take another 15 seconds and look to the right. And of course, you kind of know the answer to that. Which one do you understand more? How would you make how do you do a French press? Well, if I want to learn it through this statement, I have to read all the way from here, top to the bottom, to understand the process. But over here, I can go from left to right. Hey, just need a teaspoon of coffee, 4 ounces of water, mix it up, press it, and then of course pour it. So you're going to need ingredients: medium grind coffee and hot water, 2 ingredients. And here's what you do: 1, 2, 3, 4. In 4 minutes, you have that. Very simple. Which one are you going to remember the next time that you see that? Very likely the right. So that's essentially where you take, and that's what a lot of people do in Visme. One of the habits that we have more and more see companies and organizations do is they use us to create visual documents, multi-page documents, proposals, and annual reports, and so on, where they actually go from this and use our images, graphs, and text, and so on to create less dense content and more visual to create these visual documents. And it's really it's been amazing for a lot of our clients and audience on what they've been able to achieve with engagement. That's essentially using this principle. All right, I'm almost done here. A couple more slides. Characters. These are, again, all characters available in Visme. Now, you might be a business professional and say, I'm a company. We're a very serious company. I can never go put an animation or a character on my annual report. You don't have to think of it that way. You see, once in a while, it's good to bring a little bit of a human factor or a little bit of a, be less intimidating, have a little fun. We do that a lot at Visme. Even the presentations my sales team does and so on internally, they come in and they use something to just break the ice. It might be just a divider slide. It might be where, for example, you may use a character that has a certain pose. Like in Visme, you can have 16, 17 different poses, 15, I think. So it could be angry, it could be sad. Hey, last month we beat our KPIs. So they may use a character that is jumping up and down and happy because we beat it, or the next time we don't, and it will be sad. So you use those to kind of bring some emotions into that. Another one is using animations and GIFs. So a lot of people don't know that in Visme, you can create short animations and GIFs. You can download as a GIF or an MP4. This is an example, for example, of a GIF that was done. And why would you do that? Well, photos are static. but with GIFs and short animations, you can create more impactful content to get the message across, such as this example here, such as a lot of the GIFs and short videos that you see on social media and so on. It allows you to keep your audience engaged. With GIFs, they're repeatable. So you see, like here, it keeps repeating, it keeps going and going and going. So you might be reading this message, but at different stages, you may look at that and then kind of get the message about, hey, smart design, durable, ergonomic. That's essentially what this lamp's supposed to annotate. All right, and last but not least, polls and quizzes. So another one is to utilize and improve engagement by asking your audience something. Ask them to engage. Maybe you have a course. Make your course a dialogue, not a monologue, right? It's a two-way. You ask a question, get an answer. So this is an actual form that's embedded in Visme. That's one of the things people do is they embed things inside of our tool with like the canvas to put anything from outside. So like, hey, here's a type form. Where would you rather go, Asia or Paris? Let's say I go, well, let's say Asia. Okay. Are you up for a nice restaurant? Okay. So you see engagement, it's getting me to engage with this presentation in this case. And of course, you can use that feedback and create other aspects. So that's my presentation here in this case. And I hope that this gives you some information. Feel free to put any questions in the chat and Q&A. I'm going to pass it on to Mr. Asad Ali, Senior Brand Manager at Sendinblue. And Asad, it's all up to you. And when it comes to tell me which slide, you can just make a note, next slide, and I will be happy to navigate through for you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Raymond. I definitely want to highlight how you mentioned the human factor, extremely important. And I think the human factor is really what decides. And, and we're in a time now where when it comes to customer education, for example, it's not about giving the information, it's giving value in the right way. And I love how you mentioned the human factor, because many businesses do miss out on that. It's like, oh, we just need to slam everyone with the information, but they forget about that visual component, or the component that actually makes it more appealing, more easy on the eyes.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. Amazing. So let's jump into it. If you can go to the next slide. What is Sendinblue? So Sendinblue is an all-in-one marketing platform that empowers small businesses, startups, founders, mid-sized businesses to create stronger customer relationships through end-to-end marketing campaigns. In short, really, we're supporting businesses to successfully navigate through their digital presence and strengthen their customer relationships. Now, in short, we have multiple tools that we offer. We have email marketing, SMS marketing, A/B testing, marketing automation, a landing page creator, chat, CRM, and much, much more. Fun fact, we send about 100 million emails every day, which is amazing. And we have about 350 users, 350,000 users across 160 countries. Really, in short, the goal here is to ensure that, you have a suite, it's easy, simple, intuitive, and you can process the work you want to do with ease and in no time. If you go to the next slide. Really understanding how the world has changed. So we did a global study in 2021 to really understand what customers have been doing digitally. And we found out that email is actually ranked as one of the top 4 communication channels. What we also found out was how and what customers prefer in terms of content. So about 25% preferred entertaining content being sent to them daily, and about 50% of them prefer humorous content at least once a week. Now, the reason I say this is going back to the part of the human factor. You can't just be sending, blank information to your consumers or your users and be like, hey, here you go. You need to make that content appealing, personalized, again, with value. Of course, deals and promotions are popular, but it's how you're presenting that information that's what engages the user more and more. If you go to the next slide. Really understanding how you want to build your story. Like I said, it's not about a sales pitch anymore. It's about giving value to your customers, and your customer education is essential. 3 main things that we recommend when you're working on your email marketing is personalizing the message. That is one of the most important things. You can't send the same email to everyone. It has to be personalized based on the demographics or the segmentation that you're focusing on. I think Payman's done a fantastic job on this. Visual elements are key. You need to add the visuals that are important, that will make the impact, and again, easier on the eyes, and of course, how we're processing the information that comes on board. Subject lines. Subject lines are so important because, you know, I love using emojis. Keeping your subject line short, entertaining, and to the point engages the customer more in terms of what they're opening and how they're opening it itself. You know, if I have a very simple subject line that says, hey, 50% off, people are going to be like, I don't know if I want to open it. Because that's one of the first things you see. If it's more engaging, we have a surprise for you in this email. You'd be more curious to see how you can open that and get a better understanding. So it's key to see how you want to narrate your story. And as you narrate your story, that's how you're going to be educating your customers more and more efficiently. If you go to the next slide. So really thinking of trends, again, the pandemic has really changed the way SMBs are thinking and thinking how they want to move forward. They've definitely become more sophisticated and they're looking to test more marketing channels. They're looking for alternatives. They're definitely going to be focusing on more conversational marketing and new digital channels as much as possible. When it comes to the education aspect, again, that's our opportunity or our move to see how we can best educate them moving forward. We go to the next slide. Now, this is key when it comes to education. It's how you segment. I'll go into more detail on this, but think of these three things. Who are you targeting? How do you personalize the content that you're sending? And as you personalize this content, you're able to increase their overall engagement. Now, the reason I say this is, like I said, let's say you're sending out an email. You can't expect to send that one email to the whole group. You need to segment it based off of whatever your needs are. So an example of segmentation could be an individual who identifies themselves as female, has opened your last two emails, and is based in, let's say, the United States or Canada. That's how you've segmented it. And according to that segmentation, you can build content that can actually help them process the information and what you want to say it. So you can think of it this way. Let's say if you're a global company, or let's say if you're a local company, you can focus your content based on localized regions, or you can base your content, if you're a global company, you can base your content on global regions. So really decide on how you want to set that content out in itself. We go to the next slide. This is my favorite one. So really understanding the importance of email marketing and educating your customers in itself. Excellent way of creating brand awareness. It really helps you build that customer loyalty and how often you're sending emails, and then A/B testing. You can actually see in how everything works. When A/B testing, you know, you can A/B test your subject lines. You can A/B test really what image works better for what email. You can also test what content specifically that you're sending out would increase the interaction itself. Think of email marketing as a marketing channel that actually helps you achieve what you want in terms of your ROI. For every $1 that you end up spending in email marketing, you get a return of $30. So it's really understanding the key hacks and tips that will actually allow you to succeed with what you want to do. And it's essential. You can see with the pandemic in itself how a major impact has been made on people wanting to be more digital. If you go to the next slide. Marketing automation. This is a cool one as well, which has become a big trend for the last year and a half or so. Whenever I speak to people about marketing automation, they're always first question, what is it? It's really, in short, it's a set of triggers that are based off how your users are behaving. This could be based off, you know, sending out an email, an SMS contact. This can help you with lead scoring and can help you with lead nurturing. Literally, automation makes your process easier. And again, if you go to the next slide, the value of automation. It's a key conversion lever. It's an opportunity to improve your customer experience. Again, aka your education, helps you save time and money. And most importantly, it's a very efficient way of using your resources. Now, the reason I say this, you know, your initial intake on the workflow that you build for an automation will be a bit time consuming, but once you've nailed the system, you just take a step back and you let it roll in one go. Automation is what needs to be done by many companies to ensure that they're able to send out the information that they want to send to the users. It's basically you're automating your customer journey in the right way. If you go to the next slide. Now, I'll give you an example of how this could work. Let's say I'm a user and I come on your website and it says I want to sign up for the newsletter, for example. I send in my email, and what happens through automation is once I've signed up, I automatically get that welcome email. And if I click that email, I get to record that, and according to that, I set another trigger, which shows that, okay, I've opened the email, it goes and it sends me the previous newsletter, and it shows that I'm engaged. If I open the email again and I've clicked on it, then the automation pulls another trigger and then sends you another email to show how much engagement a user can receive. This way, you're automating the process, you're giving the customer the right information that they want, and you can see overall how much they're engaging and really encouraging to interact with your product and your service from the first contact in itself. Let's give you another example. If you go to the next slide. It's really re-engaging inactive contents. This can be based off, again, triggers. Let's say a customer hasn't opened an email in X amount of months or hasn't visited your website in X amount of months. What you do is you send them an automated email. The trigger is pulled itself. You wait, you see if a customer takes action. And then from that, you can see if that customer is someone who wants to continue engaging with your brand or not. This way you can keep your list updated and you can ensure better deliverability of the content that you want to send and how you can actually win from that. Because see, you can have as many contacts as you want, but what you want to ensure from your customer list is how many of those customers engage with you. And as your engagement increases, that shows a stronger brand that's being built. And as you continue and find the users that are engaged, they'll be ones who will be continuously opening your emails, continuously being part of that automation, continuously wanting more. And if you go to the next slide. Now, going back to segmentation, okay, I mentioned it, but really, what is segmentation really based off of? It's really the art of differentiating contacts based on attributes. This could be as simple as, like I said, when was the last time they opened an email? What country they're based in? This really allows you to identify and really see what kind of content you want to push on them to educate them. You can see who will be more interested. This is a way you can actually personalize your campaigns and send what is relevant to your customers' needs. Segmentation is an essential part of today's digital world, and everyone should be a part of it. And it's key. You can literally base your segmentation on anything that you want, and it's all about getting personal. Again, it also adds that human factor to it, just because you're knowing, all right, I have a list of, let's say, 100,000. 30% are focused on this, the other 30% are focused on this, and 40% are focused on this. You can actually differentiate your content based on that, increase engagement accordingly, rather than sending, let's say, one email or automation to that one certain group in itself. If you go to the next slide. Now, just a bit of practical advice on automation in itself. Super simple. Really, when you're doing it, define the goal you want to achieve from your automation. The way Sendinblue is set up, we have a couple of templates that actually help you set up automations, basic tools. If you want to do something a little more complicated, start with simple scenarios and optimize conditions accordingly. It's really important to test as much as possible because you want the right system to be set. That's it. Initial setup may take a bit longer, but once it's set up, you're good to go, right? Understand who your perfect customer is. And once you have your perfect customer, you can create value constantly. Obviously, follow all privacy laws, CCPA and GDPR. It's always important to be following privacy and data concerns. But lastly, keep testing, right? Test, improve, repeat, and you'll see the results that you want in itself. And we can go to the next slide. And now passing off, Panos, to you, and let's jump into LearnWorlds.
Thank you guys for these great presentations. It's very interesting, the nice little triangle that we have here, Payman, coming from a creative, artistic approach, showed us the visual storytelling and how you can create amazing graphics and animations that can enhance what you are saying and what you want to present. And Asad, with his marketing acumen, talked about how you can automate certain aspects of your marketing and how you can make it even more applicable and even more useful and effective if you segment your audience and think very carefully about what we are sending, when, and to whom. Now, from my end, I'll talk a bit more from the education perspective that combines both the content and the marketing aspects, and let's see how we can enhance your business by using customer education. And when you're talking about customer education, everything that I will probably say here applies to every sort of business, whether you are a one-person team, whether you are selling a product, whether you are selling knowledge itself, and knowledge is your product. All these things apply also to you. So let's go to the next slide, please, Peyman. We're going to talk today a bit about how education is the best form of marketing, and this is something that we're preaching and also following here at LearnWalls very closely. What are the benefits of customer education? And then we'll actually very quickly see a couple of case studies, the LearnWalls Academy, the Sheila Academy, but also Sendinblue Academy, because Sendinblue is a customer who is using LearnWalls to educate their own customers and enhance the adoption of their product. And then some practical tips for customer education, which we have also compiled into a great checklist, and we will email it to you later along with the recording of this presentation, so you will not miss anything. So what is LearnWalls? LearnWalls is a platform that allows you to create and sell online courses from your own website. And if we can go to the next slide, we are an all-in-one tool that allows you, it takes away all the heavy lifting and can help you create your online business in a box. In some cases, like a bit jokingly, we mentioned that we are a Shopify for online courses. In fact, we are much more powerful or complex and enhanced than Shopify, because you LearnWalls, you can create anything that an online e-learning business would require. You can create all your customer-facing pages, your online school. You can create your content. You can also embed content that you create with other tools like Visme. For example, I saw somewhere a question about comparing Visme with Canva and other tools that can create some static pages. We have shown in other webinars how you can create whole interactive online courses with Visme and just embed them within LearnWalls. So there's one thing that you cannot do with most of the other tools. We include also all the e-commerce functionality that you would ever need, whether you're just sharing courses to people or you want to sell subscriptions, memberships, or courses as one-off products. You can do that with LearnWalls, and also you have all the tools to manage and grow your audience. And when we're talking about online courses, you can understand that in the era of COVID, and hopefully the post-COVID era very soon, the default mode of learning is e-learning. That's now something that everybody understands very well. And also every day we are amazed by the different ways and the very interesting ways that people use education to enhance their business. It doesn't necessarily have to be a business that is selling online courses, but education can really up your game, anything that you may be doing. So online courses are very sexy as online products. They're very versatile. You can very easily repurpose your content, all your blog posts, podcasts, ebooks, anything that you might have ever written in the past. You can quite easily repurpose it in the form of an online course. You can obviously create some very specific custom videos, but you can also repurpose videos that you have done in the past, like webinars. A live webinar like that, we can easily record it and re-upload it as an online course with minimum editing. Online courses are also highly sellable. People invest a lot in their skill set. We talk a lot about the great resignation and how people are trying to find new ways to gain new skills and escape 9 to 5 and gain more profitable ways of employment. Everybody is looking for skills. So this is a very timely product to a business to be in. Also, online courses are highly scalable. If you are a trainer, how many hours per week can you teach? Like 30, 40, 50? But if you're doing an online course, you can create it once and you can sell it hundreds, if not thousands of times. And this is where customer education is also very effective. If you have a business, and Peyman and Asad can also talk about that, how many customer support reps can you have to keep servicing a growing customer base? You cannot just keep adding more and more people. You have to think smart. You have to be proactive. You have to educate your customers on how to best use your product. And this is one of the best ways to really scale and enhance your own brand. If we can go to the next slide. Also, that's something that I usually, that's something that I believe very strongly, that online courses are the ebooks of 2020. Anything that people used to do with an ebook 10 or 20 years ago, enhance their personal brand or enhance the brand of their business, self-promote, show themselves as experts, create lead magnets. All these things can really be done very, very effectively with an online course. In fact, some of the most effective lead magnets that we have ever created as a business here in LearnWalls are online courses. People don't say no to free education, to free knowledge that you are serving. A webinar is also a big part of that. So be useful, share content, share what you know, share information, and you can be exchanged with more valuable connections with future potential customers. Let's go to the next slide. So what people can find within LearnWalls, they can find a beautiful website builder, starting with some amazing templates, no code. This is a no code tool. No developer and no design skills are required. You can get a fully functional e-learning website out of the box in just a few minutes. Tools for creating engaging course content like interactive videos, but also, as we mentioned, you can just embed content that you create somewhere else, like Visme. Tools for creating your marketing funnels, pages and triggers and pop-ups and surveys, but you can also connect other email marketing tools like Sendinblue using our API or the webhooks integrations that we can have. So you can put all these things, the creative part and the content and the marketing part, you can encapsulate it in a great package in the form of an online course, and also all the tools you need for managing all your users and your sales. If we can go to the next slide, please, Priman. So customer education, super important for your branding. We offer 100% white label online academy. You can also get your very own mobile app, like a native mobile app with your own brand, pages builder, SSO, and API to connect with anything that you would like. And here are some of the examples that we have been using. First of all, here in LearnWalls, we very much believe in eating our own dog food. So we have been using, obviously, our platform for educating our own customers. The Just Launch It Academy is a place where we share everything that we learn from our customers, everything that we learn from some of the best experts out there about online course marketing and online and selling of online course creation and online course marketing. And these things are not applicable just to LearnWalls. You can just go in there, get the best tips from the best experts, and just apply it to any other platform that you may be using. Of course, we would like you to use LearnWalls, and we are really confident that this is the best platform that you could ever use. But still, the content is super valuable. Right now, I think we have more than 15,000 users within the Just Launch It Academy, and we continuously add new courses with all the experts that we are able to work with. So this is an amazing way to introduce customer education for your business. It enhances your brand. It allows you to obviously to use all these courses as lead magnets. We used to have some paid courses back in the day, but when COVID came, we just made all our most valuable content free. We wanted to help as many people as possible to get advantage of this knowledge and get them in the position to be able to create their own online courses and their own online businesses. Next slide, please. And something that I have to share is that this Just Launch It Academy, which obviously works in conjunction with our help center, which is also very helpful. But in any case, always we see that people who use the Just Launch It Academy are 4 times more likely to convert to paid customers, even when in some cases they don't use the academy. Even when they just see that all this information is there, they feel so much more confident about how we can help them. They see this information and they know that at any point they can just go back in and get some of the tips and apply them in their own instance. So this has been by far, these online courses, by far the most effective lead magnets. And also you should think, every one of you should think about how you can use training to enhance your own marketing, whatever business you may be doing, whether you're a consultant, a coach, whether you are selling physical products or online products or services, how you can use training to gain access to more leads, help more people, grow your network, and then down the line, grow your funnel, and then down the line, these may be converted, or a part of them will certainly be converted into customers. Next slide. This is another case. This is the Sila Academy. It's a business out of Denmark. They are creating and using building materials. So this is not an online business. This is very much a brick and mortar business, literally. They have some, but they are using the LearnWalls to create their own academy. So they train people. They have free courses. They train people about how to use their products effectively. They train experts, obviously, builders and the people who are in this industry. And through education, they're able to gain more awareness around their products. They're able to show nice use cases of how their products can be used. And this can be a great tool at the hands of a marketer, but also can help a business form stronger connections with all their customers, increase their awareness about the product, awareness about different use cases, and overall help a business. So this is a great way of how a traditional business that is working in a traditional segment can benefit from online courses. Everybody has learned how to use online courses and how to use e-learning and how to use all these online tools. So we don't have to think just about the tech economy, but all segments of the economy can now benefit from something like that. And this is also a very interesting case from Assad's company, the Sendinblue Academy, and how they have been using LearnWalls in order to educate their customers. If I'm not mistaken, in the Sendinblue Academy, there are already courses in 3 or 4 different languages. I saw definitely French and Italian and German in there. So this is an amazing way to increase your brand awareness, but also to stay connected with your users and offer, if I'm not mistaken, Assad, you're offering some certificates for people who obviously learn about email marketing and email automation, but they also feel great about themselves having acquired this knowledge and getting this certificate. This is something that we sometimes underestimate, but getting a nice little token, which you can obviously design also in Visme, you get a nice little token of your progress, of your knowledge, and you feel happy about yourself. And obviously Sendinblue as a business gets the potentially their product in front of many, many more thousands of users.
Absolutely. I'll take on from here to talk a bit more about Sendinblue Academy. Well, firstly, we love Learnwoods. I think it's been a fantastic way for us to put what we want to teach on Learnwoods here in itself. So in short, Sendinblue Academy is a 4-hour course. It really gives you insights of everything you need to know about email marketing. It's a course that can be both for someone who's a beginner and someone who's actually more seasoned with email marketing itself. Just to show you quickly how the platform's been set up, we've literally broken down every email topic in itself, and actually the LearnWalls platform allows us to do it with ease. You know, you go through a section, you do a quick video, 5 to 10 minutes, followed by a couple of terms that you can learn, ends by a quiz, and then we give you more resources that you can actually see on how it works. On the top, you can also see a percentage tracker to see how well you're doing the course or not. If you go to the next slide, really, like I said, we've been able to embed what we want to add in terms of resources as well. So within the course in itself, as you can see, we've added one of our ebooks to give anyone who's studying to get more information as easily as possible. And as you can see, the way we've set it up, it's simple, convenient, but it makes such a significant impact on what we're trying to do. Like I said, we've used the LearnWorlds platform in itself and embedded everything together. It's clean, it's simple, it's easy, and we're giving the students or the user what they want to do when they're studying for it itself. And if you go to the next slide, what's fun without studying if you can't have a quiz? So we also have been able to add in a couple of quizzes to the whole academy as well. And it really helps everyone understand better what they're doing and reading and really understanding in itself. Like I said, LearnWorlds is super easy to use, especially on the user end. It makes the process so much more convenient. And like I said, it's only a 4-hour course, so it makes a big difference. We're actually, surprise, we'll be launching another course soon, so stay tuned. If you go to the next slide, back to you.
Yep, thanks. These are just some very hands-on tips, and as I mentioned, we will share a nice little checklist with all this easily combined, and it really fits with everything that we talked here today. Creating readable content. It can even be infographics with some great templates like the ones Payman showed today. The easiest, you don't need any long form content and something that is very elaborate. You can create an amazing little online course with minimal information. You can just reuse some of the text that you already have there. Obviously, keep it nicely grouped, and this is why an online course is a nice little concept. You can even create a 20-minute course around the concept that your potential customer base is interested, and this already can be something very, very valuable to them. Short form content, again, as Asad mentioned, the size of videos that they have, you don't need and definitely you shouldn't make a 60-minute video teaching something. You can go with 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4-minute videos, quick and easy for you to create, quick and easy for you to edit and replace, but also very easy for people to follow. Use videos and images, and again, this is where a tool like Visme can really go in and with some great animations, and can upgrade your content significantly. Build learning paths. Let's say this can be nice organizations of courses. You can have your newbie courses, and then you can have some more elaborate courses. This also fits with what Asad talked today about segmentation, because you can get your basic one course and segment it for different segments, for different markets, for different industries, and this can help people self-identify and progress through the different funnels that you may be creating. And then adding also some fun to the learning process. This can be some gamification, this can be some quizzes, some surveys that you can create within LearnWalls, or some interactive videos that you can create also within LearnWalls, or with a tool like Visme. But we will give you also more information about that. So I'm really and I've seen it working in LearnWalls. I'm a firm believer of education is the best form of marketing. It's subtle, it's effective. You're not salesy, you're not pushy, you're just giving out information. It might not convert immediately, but the best way you can form great connections with your potential customers is to be useful and to give them great content. Be proactive instead of reactive. So instead of having to react to potential issues, try to educate your users about your product and how they can best use your product. And customer education can be your best friend to activate your users, to cultivate power users, to show them what is the true potential of your product, especially if you have a complex or powerful product. So also, at the hands of a competent marketing team, online courses can be some of the best lead magnets that you ever created, and can really skyrocket your ROI. And just another, on the next slide, I think just another thing from us, in order to help you get started and as a reward for staying with us and being with us in this amazing webinar, we also have a discount for you to get started easily with LearnWalls. Obviously, you can just create a free trial, no credit cards, no strings attached, but also a nice little discount for the first 6 months to help you get started, help you set up something, show it to the decision makers of your company if they need convincing, and show them how, with some amazing creatives and some great design and a very competent platform, you can create an amazing customer education experience that can really help your business in all sorts of different ways. I think, Payman, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, thank you very much, Panos and Lee. So great job. It's always, educational for me as well when 3 of us get together and talk. So, at this point, I think we have, of course, very limited time, but let's just take a couple minutes and take any Q&As. I believe there was a couple of questions that were asked here, and there was a question asking from Darren, can you include an upload feature in emails so clients could download a document, fill it, and then upload it all in one email? I'm curious if that was meant for Visme or Sendinblue. So maybe it was a Sendinblue. No, it was 11:36. I'm assuming that, yeah, it was when the Sendinblue was going on. Maybe you can answer that, Ali.
Yes, you can have a custom colors. You can have custom fonts. I mean, we have a wide array of fonts. Don't think you can add a font, but in terms of colors, yes, you can do custom colors.
Got
I
it.
think also there's a question about the upload feature. Peymana, were you referring to that?
So can you upload? Can you include an upload feature in emails? If it's a Visme question, so in Visme you can do two things. You can either share whatever you create as a link, which you can add that link in an email, and essentially that link will lead to a Visme, and that's a live Visme. So if you ever make updates, changes to it, it would update live. You can connect live data, and that would always load up live data. But uploading into an email in Visme, you would download it as an image or GIF or PDF, and you can insert that as an email, as an attachment, essentially, or an image inside of the body of the email. So let's say you were using Sendinblue, you could download a graphic as a GIF or an image, and then you could embed that into that email. Next question from Cassie. I would love to hear some suggestions on getting upper management on board with this kind of program. I've been hired by a company to focus on education for employees, but I think we need more customers too. So I'm not, maybe this is for LearnWorlds.
Probably, yeah, probably this is from for us from Cassie. I can really feel about having to secure, you know, upper management buy-in for a project like that, and they're definitely in the right direction. Starting to use education for employees. This is also very, very important, and it shouldn't be taken for granted. I think there is a clear trend here. We see it more and more from our side, more and more businesses launching their online academies. And it's not just in the software as a service business or in the tech industry, but we see it more. So this is the trend. We've seen it in the tech industry. We've seen it with the HubSpot Academy. We've seen it with the Hootsuite Academy. All sorts of businesses who started educating their customers, their potential users, also partners educating their partners. Sendinblue does it. LearnWalls does it. We now see some of the best software as a service businesses more and more being proactive, trying to keep their customer support and customer success costs low, because there are only so many agents you can just throw at a problem, trying to be reactive and responding to use cases. But this is we see it very strongly. This is part of the product-led growth and the product-led movement, trying as much as possible to educate customers, give them all the tools that they can activate themselves, they can educate themselves, and they can be better users of their product. And the good thing is that with a platform like LearnWoods, you can combine both. In our case, in our academy, we are using the academy both to educate customers, but also to host our own products, our own courses for training and onboarding our own employees. So it's not like a totally different setup. You don't need vastly different tools or a vastly different setup to do something like that. You can just build a school, academy.yourbusiness.com, hosted by LearnWalls, and in there you can have both your customer-facing courses, and you can also host private courses which will only be attended by your own employees. Of course, if we're talking about a much larger business with a few thousand customers, in that case, for security reasons, it would be better to host two different schools or something separate. But with just one account, you can accomplish everything. So show to your higher ups these cases, the Sendinblue Academy, the LearnWalls Academy. We can also share some examples of amazing academies that have been built using the LearnWalls platform. The HubSpot Academy is another example, and I think they will start thinking about it very, very seriously.
Very good. And I see there's one more question. What does the Learning Center plan do? How much is it and for how long?
Yes, this is Learning Center plan is the most advanced plan of LearnWorlds. It's fully white label. You can host up to 10,000 active users per month. The cost is $249 per month. So it's the most cost-effective LMS that you could ever dream of. It's super easy to set up, and it has all the premium features. So just send us an email and we'll be happy to explain in detail what you will be able to do and why that is or is not fitting for your case.
Very good. And also, as we wrap up this webinar, there is the slide. I put a link to the presentation in the chat. So for those of you that if you want to go and revisit the slides and information that was very helpful that was provided by all three of us. Additionally, the last slide here, which I have up right now, are 3 discount codes for Visme, Sendinblue, and LearnWorlds. So 15% off the annual Visme business plans. And you can use the code LEARN22 at checkout. For Sendinblue, there's a 50% off for 3 months. And the code is Sendinblue tapped. And then LearnWorlds, 15% off 6 months on the pro trainer plans or higher. Use the code customer training. So again, this is in the presentation slide. I'm going to put the link here one more time coming up on the chat right now. And you can always navigate to the very last slide if you need to. And again, this has been wonderful having all of us join you guys today. Really appreciate it. Any last words from my colleagues here? Panos and Ali, anything you want to share?
Asad?
Yeah, no, I think it's important just to know how customer journeys work and how it's important to create value for your customers rather than just sending information straight up, right? It's at the end of the day, it's all about how you're creating value and you're making a difference with the information, you know.
It was great having you all here. I think the different angles, the creative angle and the marketing angle, and also the e-learning angle can really help. Lots of folks are thinking more creatively about how they communicate, how they create content. There are so many tools now that can really help you be a one-man or one-woman powerhouse. You can create content easily. If you think smartly, you can automate the segment, and also you can package all this in a nice little coherent narrative that can also be an online, that can also be a product itself, or it can help you sell and promote your online product. So we're trying to bring creative information and applicable information from some of the best experts around, and Peyman and Asad have been amazing today in helping us formulate this story. Thanks for attending, everyone. Hope everybody.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Stay safe. Thank you.